Last time you were in art, you played a game inspired by Kandinsky's artwork, and you drew shapes and lines using crayon and pressing them really hard. Today, you are going to be using ink to finish this artwork. There are a couple things I need to tell you about using India ink. Number one is the ink is super permanent. That's why you're going to wear an apron while you're using it. If you get it on your hands, it might stain your hands for a little bit even after you wash them. Tonight when you go home, if you do the dishes, it'll get all of that ink completely washed off. The other thing I want to tell you is that when you are painting, if you need to put down your brush for any reason, I want you to set it on your newspaper at your table. Don't leave it in the ink container because we don't want to accidentally tip it over. In order to paint the ink, you're going to dip your brush into the ink, and then I want you to scrape off any drips. That way we don't have a big mess. I would start by painting the edges of your paper. You can see how that crayon is really showing through. I'm not going to dip my brush back into the ink until I have used up all of the ink that's on my paper. So I'm still brushing and that ink is still moving around my page. So I'm not going to get any more ink. If you get too much ink on your paper, it could tear your paper, and it could also make it so that the designs are not showing through very well. Sometimes it helps to start by making little dots all over your page, and then you can spread those dots out after you've kind of put them everywhere. I am painting all the way to the edge of my paper. That's why we have our newspaper, is to protect our tables. If you see a part that is too thick, where the colors aren't showing through, kind of scrub it off of one part and maybe move that ink over to another part. Once you are finished, it's really important that you check your paper for drips. So if you pick up your paper and there is ink dripping off of your paper, you need to set your paper right back down and get a paper towel to dry it off. If you pick up a drippy paper, when you walk it over the drying rack, it's going to make a big mess on the floor. Once your paper is drip free, go ahead and walk your artwork over to the drying rack, and Miss Powell will put it up on the drying rack for you.